Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is Apple's new iPhone battery pack, or MagSafe Battery Pack. And this is something we've been waiting for a long time for the iPhone 12 series. It's supposed to be magnetic, have reverse wireless charging, and more, and it comes in at $99. So I wanted to show you this, show you a size comparison with the different phones, such as the iPhone 12 mini all the way up to the Pro Max, and see what it's all about. So let's go ahead and unbox this. We'll take the back packaging tape off here, and it just pulls straight out like this. And so this is actually pretty heavy. I'm surprised how heavy it is. Let's set this aside for just a moment, see what else we have in here. And it just has safety and handling, regulatory compliance information, and warranty summary. So just usual paperwork, no Apple stickers or anything like that. And let's take a closer look at the battery pack itself. So we'll take the wrapper off here. And let's set the box aside. Now the first thing is the overall design. The Apple logo is slid up a little bit and not centered, so that it's centered when it's attached to the back of your iPhone to replace the logo on it. And so around the outside edge, nothing really exciting. It has a plastic feel to it. And on the bottom, it looks like you have a lightning port as well as a status light is what I believe that is. On the back, we have our little MagSafe ring with a little alignment magnet bar and nothing else. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the magnets overall. And so there's no magnets in the back of it, meaning you can't charge it wirelessly. But if we flip it over, you can see the magnets in the back of it. And it's not a full circle. It actually has a piece of the ring open there. So you can see that. And when you adhere it to the back of a phone, that's what helps it stick. Now let's talk about its overall size. So this particular battery pack, let's see if it has writing we can see here. This is supposed to be a 1,460 milliamp hour battery. So this is going to vary depending on which device you use it with and how much charge it will provide overall. So here is the iPhone 12 mini. And if we put it on the back here, you'll see that it's on. Now you will need iOS 14.7 for this to work. And if we turn it back on, let's see what we've got here. It says iPhone can charge to approximately 90% while using a MagSafe battery pack. So that's a notification. And again, you'll need iOS 14.7 for this to work. But I wanted to know if it would work on iOS 15 Beta 3 as well. So I have my normal iPhone 12 Pro Max here with iOS 15 Beta 3. And let's see what we've got. So far, it's not charging at all with iOS 15 Beta 3. So it's not charging even a little bit. Now we don't know the actual charge status yet. We didn't check that, but let's go ahead and set that aside. Now let's try the iPhone 12 Pro Max with iOS 14.7 with the MagSafe battery pack. Now one thing to note is I wasn't able to get this to work. It didn't seem to charge properly until I plugged the battery pack into a lightning cable for the first time. So I plugged it in, it charged the battery pack as you can see here. So it's charging the battery pack using a lightning cable. It'll fully fill that up and it should work. Now it's working on iOS 15 Beta 3. So if we go back over to Beta 3 and plug it in here, now you'll see that it's actually charging the iPhone. If we swipe over, go down to our battery management here, or go to our battery manager here, you can see that it shows it's charging with a lightning cable. So it thinks it's being charged with a lightning cable on Beta 3. However, it will charge. But if we go back to iOS 14.7, let's see, we've gotten a little animation and it shows us the charge of the battery pack. And it was a little buggy until I plugged it in. It wouldn't show me some of those animations. So now it's charging. And if we swipe over to our widgets, you can see the status of the battery pack. So you need iOS 14.7 to see this properly. Maybe they'll update it with iOS 15 Beta 3 or Beta 4. So we'll have to wait and see what they do with that. Now, as far as charging the battery pack, there's a couple different ways you can do that. If you have a USB-C to lightning cable that's over 20 watts, you can fast charge both devices at once. So if you plug them in, we'll go over, you'll see it's actually charging at the same time. This is actually plugged into an iMac, so you'll see it's charging. And I thought we'd try out, maybe we plug them both in at the same time, see if we get any difference. Doesn't really seem to affect it in any way. So you could plug both in, but it doesn't really do anything. But now we are reverse wireless charging through the iPhone into the battery pack itself. So it's going through the iPhone and charging not only the phone, but also the battery pack. And that's indicated with a little light here. Now, a couple things to note is this cannot be MagSafe charged going through the back of the battery pack, as I showed you the magnets earlier. But I thought maybe we could MagSafe charge it going directly through here, although the magnets probably aren't going to work. So you'll see there's a light on the battery pack indicating that it's on. And if we put this on here, it won't line up properly just because of the way it sits. So you can't use a MagSafe wireless charger to charge the battery pack itself. You need to use Lightning. Now, if you're using the battery pack and you want to take a photo, there's a message that pops up if you try and use the flash. So if we go into the camera, and you'll see here it says, flash will work best with MagSafe battery pack removed. Now, why this is hard to say. If you turn off the flash, the message goes away. And this was found thanks to my friend Steve Moser that kind of pointed me in the right direction. And as you can see here, the flash is at the top of the 12 Pro Max. So maybe this has something to do with the way it reflects light, or maybe just it has to do with heat in general. So what specifically is causing them to put this message on there, it's hard to say, but it is something you'll encounter if you're using the battery pack. Now, also to give you a size comparison, since I have all the different phones here, just to show you the size of the battery pack overall, you can see here's the case. It's about as wide as an iPhone 12 mini. So you'll see, but it's much thicker. So the thickness of it is quite large. And then on an iPhone 12 Pro or 12, again, you'll see the sort of thickness overall. And each time the Apple logo is in the middle. And then again, let's line that up. There we go. And it looks kind of the strangest or most awkward on the 12 Pro Max. Now, one thing to note is this will not interfere with using this for NFC things such as payments or a key fob, for example. So you shouldn't have any interference as far as that goes. Now, keep in mind the battery pack is smaller than other iPhones. So what that means is the battery pack is 1,460 milliamp hours, but the iPhone 12 mini is 2,227 milliamp hours, where the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro are 2,815 milliamp hours, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max is 3,687 milliamp hours. That means you're going to get some battery life, maybe 50%, maybe up to 75%, or 50 to 75 on the mini, but everything else about half. So you will get about 1.5 if you include this with it. So it's not a huge gain as far as the battery is concerned, but it's super convenient in that it reverse wireless charges. Now, I did want to try with a case on and see if it will still work. So we'll put a case on the phone. We've got a MagSafe case on here. This is an Apple MagSafe case. And then we'll put the battery pack on back of that. And let's see what happens. It will still charge through the case. So it's charging through the case. You'll see it there. It's charging. And let's see if we can reverse wireless charge through the case as well. So we'll give it a moment. And it does not look, oh, it does look. It took just a moment. It's reverse wireless charging with a case on. So if that was a concern, I thought we'd test that out also. Now, I wanted to try the MagSafe battery pack with an older phone. So I have an iPhone XR that does have wireless charging and also has iOS 14.7. Now, it should charge. I felt it vibrate, so it is charging, but I'm not sure it will recognize it. So it doesn't recognize it. It just shows that it's charging. So it's not something that it will recognize. You could use it if you had one sitting around. It will wirelessly charge it and does seem to work as far as that goes. Also, it will charge anything else that's wireless. So you should be able to charge your AirPods. And as you can see, it will charge AirPods Pro. So the light lights up. You've got a little indicator on the bottom that goes away after it starts charging. So it's just like any other wireless charging device. It will charge all of your different phones. Although for the price, I'm not sure that it's worth it to everyone for just the convenience. There are some other third parties out there that work similarly, but they don't reverse wireless charge from the iPhone back into the battery pack. It will take a little while to see how long this takes to charge. So if you have any other questions, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Also, one other thing I wanted to mention is it did seem to sort of creak a little bit as I was moving it around. So as I squeezed it a little bit when I was putting it on, sort of holding the phone, it seemed to make a creaking noise, although I can't reproduce that now. But it just felt like the plastic wasn't maybe adhered 100% or creaked a little bit. But I thought I'd share that with you. So that's it for the new MagSafe battery pack. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below if you have any other questions, or let me know if you're picking one up or have already picked one up, or if you went with something third party or you don't need one altogether. Love to hear from you in the comments below. If you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, of course, I'll link it in the description like I normally do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.